influence the testimony of witnesses, obtaining information about the ongoing investigation for the purpose of diverting or thwarting that investigation. Yeah, I mean, these could be captions for a picture book tour of the Nixon administration or the Trump administration, either way. I mean, when it came to Nixon, it turned out at the time, and we can now see more clearly than ever, 45 years down the line, it turned out there were mountains of this stuff, this evidence of Nixon's criminal behavior, mountains of this stuff that was turned up by federal prosecutors and investigators. Now, in our lifetime, as yet, we know very little about what federal prosecutors and federal investigators have about our current president. But nevertheless, we've still got our own mountain of reporting and evidence about an even bigger number of alleged instances of obstruction by the president. Just stuff turned up by investigative reporting, and in some cases, just admitted to by the president and other senior figures themselves, or just committed openly, out in public, out loud. I mean, to the point where it has sometimes been squirmingly awkward for those involved.
Have you talked about this issue with Admiral Rogers?
That is something that I would like to withhold that question at this particular point in time.
That excruciatingly pregnant 9-second long pause brought to you by the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats. That was the day after NBC News reported that the president had asked him, and also the head of the National Security Agency at the time, head of the NSA, Admiral Mike Rogers. NBC reported that the president had asked them both to make public statements saying that they and their agencies knew that President Trump and his campaign hadn't colluded with Russia. So the Russia investigation was way off base. The day before that 9-second pause from Director Coats in Congress, NBC had reported that not only had President Trump directed him as the Director of National Intelligence and also the head of the NSA to make those public statements to undermine the Russia investigation, but also the two of them, head of the NSA, head of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the two of them had talked to each other about that request from the president, sort of compared notes after the president had approached them both.
I'll ask both of you the same question. Why are you not answering these questions? Is there an invocation by the President of the United States of executive privilege? Is there or not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then why are you not answering our questions?
Because I feel it is inappropriate, Senator.
What you feel isn't relevant, Admiral. What you feel isn't the answer. The answer is, why are you not answering the questions? Is it an invocation of executive privilege? If there is, then let's know about it. If there isn't, answer the questions.
I stand by the comments I've made. I'm not interested in repeating myself, sir. And I don't mean that in a contentious way.
Well, I do mean it in a contentious way. I don't understand why you're not answering our questions. You can't. When you were confirmed before the Armed Services Committee, you took an oath. Do you solemnly swear to give the committee the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. You answered yes to that.
And I've also answered that those conversations were classified, and it is not appropriate in an open forum to discuss those classified conversations.
What is classified about a conversation involving whether or not you should intervene in the FBI investigation?
Sir, I stand by my previous comments.
Mr. Coates, same series of questions. What's the basis for your refusal to answer these questions today?
The basis is that what I've previously explained. I do not believe it is appropriate for me to.
What's the basis? I'm not satisfied with I do not believe it is appropriate or I do not feel I should answer. I want to understand a legal basis. You swore that oath to tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and today you are refusing to do so. What is the legal basis for your refusal to testify to this committee?
I'm not sure I have a legal basis.
So already, this stuff is out there, right? That's why these senators are able to ask these questions. In this case, Senator Angus King of Maine, right? Those two intelligence agency chiefs are on the hot seat there because of public reports that these senior intelligence officials, Director of National Intelligence, head of the NSA, the president asked them to make statements exonerating the president in the Russia investigation. In fact, the day before that exchange with Angus King, the Washington Post reported that the president had asked asked not only for these public exonerating statements, the president had asked the director of national intelligence to personally intervene with the FBI to tell the FBI to stop its investigation on the Russia matter, including specifically their investigation into the National Security Advisor, Mike Flynn. Right, some of the most powerful obstruction evidence against Nixon from the 70s, some of the evidence against Nixon that is still the most widely remembered stuff all these decades later, because it made it into the impeachment articles against him. Some of the most widely remembered parts of his obstruction effort were when he tried to block the FBI investigation into him by using the intelligence agency, by using the CIA, telling the FBI there was stuff they couldn't look into because those were CIA matters, trying to enlist the CIA in an effort to cover up what he had done and to stop the FBI investigation that was going to expose him. When it comes to President Trump, apparently trying the same thing, not only did he reportedly ask the heads of 2 intelligence agencies to help him out when it came to public perceptions of the Russia investigation, he specifically requested that they should intervene with the FBI, tell the FBI to back off. And according to the Washington Post, that request was made while another senior official was in the room and witnessed it.